In the primordial era, before mankind reached for the light of civilization, before the first empires rose and fell, there existed 4 angels who once held dominion over the fate of all things. They were Oriel, the keeper of judgment; Shemhazai, the guardian of forbidden knowledge; Azrakam, the wielder of the sword of destruction; and Belian, the thief of the celestial flame. These were not mere celestial beings. They were the sentinels of divine order, standing between chaos and creation. But in a fateful moment, they fell. Not by defeat, but by their own arrogance, ambition, and belief that they could rule better than the Creator. They were shackled beneath the great river Euphrates, a place where the waters bore witness to the rise and fall of mighty civilizations, to betrayals and conquests alike. And upon ancient stones was carved a prophecy: when the sun is darkened, when the earth trembles, when the 4 pillars of the world shake, the ones bound in the abyss shall be released. And in that moment, the age of man shall end. Oriel was the angel of justice and judgment. He believed that mankind was unworthy of divine mercy. They are dust, born of the earth, and to the earth they shall return, he declared. But when the Creator granted mankind free will, Oriel objected, believing humans unworthy of such a gift. Shemhazai, the angel of knowledge, revealed to humanity the forbidden secrets of the universe. He taught them the stars, the forging of metal, and the rites of summoning powers beyond their comprehension. To Shemhazai, knowledge was not meant to be caged, and this was his greatest sin. Azrakam, the general of the celestial armies, led the charge against the forces of darkness. But in time, he himself became an agent of war, believing that only strength could preserve order. He waged a battle not for heaven, but for his own dominion. Belian, the angel of the divine flame, stole fire from the heavens and gifted it to mankind, believing they could rise as gods. But the fire did not bring enlightenment. It became the forge of war, greed, and corruption. And so they were cast down, their wings torn asunder, their divine essence bound within chains forged from their own sins. Beneath the river Euphrates, they were sealed away, awaiting the day the world would summon them once more. For centuries, civilizations built their kingdoms upon the land that covered the slumbering angels. They unknowingly walked upon their prison, worshipped at temples above the cursed river, and bathed in the very waters that sealed them away. And yet, the prophecy lay dormant, waiting for the right moment. 1,000 years passed. Kingdoms rose, kings fell, and time marched forward, oblivious to the horrors that lay dormant beneath the river. Until the day came when the sky turned blood red, the ground trembled with divine fury, and a deafening crack shattered the silence of eternity. The Euphrates roared as the chains that bound the fallen angels shattered. The waters boiled, the sky split, and from the abyss 4 figures emerged, no longer angels, but something else entirely. Their once radiant forms had been twisted by the weight of time and vengeance. Oriel, his charred wings spread wide, gazed upon a world drowning in sin. Once a judge, now a destroyer, he strode through cities rife with corruption, past temples where falsehoods thrived. His hands ignited, summoning not heaven's cleansing fire, but the consuming wrath of a fallen god. Towers crumbled, temples burned, and the cries of the forsaken filled the air. To him, purity could only rise from total destruction. Shemhazai roamed ancient ruins and great libraries, seeking knowledge he had once gifted. But wisdom had become a weapon of tyranny. Books of enlightenment had turned into tools of war. Scrolls meant for creation summoned horrors instead. Furious, he stretched his hands over the pages, reducing them to dust. If knowledge had led to ruin, then ignorance must be the world's salvation. Azrakam strode across the battlefields of dying empires. He saw kings send men to die for thrones of deception, heard soldiers wail for wars they would never win. Disgusted, he struck the earth, and from beneath rose an army long forgotten, warriors of the damned, clad in rusted armor, their hollow eyes ablaze. If mankind craved war, he would rule them with an iron fist, where only the strong endured. Belian, the giver of divine fire, watched flames consume all things. "Let it burn," he whispered, stepping upon the ruins of temples, reducing the idols of false gods to cinders. The fire he once gifted for creation had become a tool of destruction. As embers rained from his wings, the world ignited, oceans boiled, and the sky wept beneath his infernal wrath. For days, the four wandered the lands, leaving destruction in their wake. They turned rivers to ash, cities to dust, and the sky itself grew dim with their presence. Word spread of the four harbingers of doom, and kings trembled in their halls. The old gods and the new ones alike fell silent, for even they feared what had been unleashed. They turned their eyes towards the gates of the heavens, preparing to wage the war that had begun eons ago. But before them stood a lone figure, radiating celestial might. "You are not the arbiters of fate. You are merely pawns in a greater design." Standing before them was Michael, the archangel of war. He did not come to fight. He came to offer them a choice. You can continue this path of destruction, or you can atone for your sins. But the price of redemption is eternal oblivion. You will be erased from the memory of the cosmos. The four fallen ones stood in silence. For the first time since their fall, the four turned to one another, questioning if the destruction they had wrought was truly justice, or merely another chain they had bound themselves to. Oriel clenched his fists, staring into the heavens. He had sought to bring judgment upon mankind, but in doing so, had he become the very monster he once opposed. Shemhazai, who had once gifted knowledge to mankind, now questioned whether knowledge itself was a gift or a curse. He had seen it used for great deeds and for unimaginable horrors. Azrakam, the warrior who had sought conquest, now realized that endless war would bring only an empty throne atop a field of bones. And Belian, the giver of fire, understood that fire did not only create, it destroyed. One by one they bowed their heads. A portal of divine light opened before them, not leading to heaven nor to hell, but to a realm beyond the reach of time. One by one, they stepped forward, vanishing into eternity. The world continued to turn, the river once more flowing peacefully, as though the fallen had never been. The fallen have been forgotten. But who is to say they will not return? For when the world again teeters on the brink of ruin, when the sins of man outweigh their virtues, the sound of broken chains may yet be heard beneath the waters of the Euphrates. And the prophecy remains, carved into stone, waiting to be fulfilled once more.